Hi. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Mother Industrialist live show where we talk about entrepreneurship, parenting, and life. And today is episode 6. And today I have this amazing lady. She's a mother of 2 children. She's a serial entrepreneur, speaker, trainer, coach. She's also an innovation facilitator, marketing strategist, and that's why I'm really truly blessed to have her on my show today. Hi. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Mother Industrialist live show where we talk about entrepreneurship, parenting, and life businesses. And today is StartUp to Life. And today I have this amazing lady. She's a mother of Kalani Marketing and Management and ACM Works. And without further ado, let's welcome Anna. Hi, Anna. Hi, hello, welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for coming in, and thank you for making time to come to my live show. I know you are really busy. It's hard to get your schedule, and like I introduced you, you are a serial entrepreneur. You're running 4 businesses, and you really make time for my show. I'm really truly blessed. And before we start the show, there's a tradition, which is there's a question of the day that the previous guest has posted out. And before we kickstart the show, I will post the question to you. Are you ready for the question of the day?
Give it to me.
Yes. Okay. So the question of the day from the previous guest is, how do you unwind at the end of the day? Yeah. So give some thought to it while I go to my Facebook page and check if we are successfully on live and whether our sound is on. Is it all right? Yeah, I'll come
Sounds
back to
good.
you. Yep.
Sounds good.
Okay. Give some time to think about it
Mhm.
while I go on live. Yes, I see that we are in. Okay, let me.
Give it to me.
Okay, yeah, loud and clear. Okay, I see people coming in. Caroline, hi Caroline. Yeah,
Caroline.
hi. Yeah, thanks for coming in. I see other people coming in. There's another 2 more that's coming in. Let us know where you're from. Just post your comment below so we know that you're coming in, you're watching us, and yep. So Anna, are you ready with your
Yes.
answer?
With
So,
my answer.
Yeah. So the question is, how do you unwind at the end of the day? So.
Okay, actually, I do really brain dead stuff to unwind at the end of the day because my mind is so active during the day and I've got like 100 to-do lists and I work with
Yeah.
so many wonderful people. So I tend to do really simple stuff at the end of the day, like watch something totally ridiculous on TV.
Wow.
Or connect with my friends from all over the world on Facebook and just go through their pictures and
Wow.
do something that doesn't require much of my brain capacity.
Wow. That's cool. So that's how you unwind, basically doing things that you enjoy, things that is non-business related, I should say. Yeah, sometimes something back to like being normal, not being a serial entrepreneur. Wow, that's good. That's a very good answer. And when I had that question from the previous guest, I was like wondering, maybe drinking would be one of it. Like for me, how I unwind will be drinking, like having a glass of red wine with a bunch of really cool friends, talking about our life and stuff like that. That would be good. So now we can kickstart the show. Okay, so today we are going to talk about how to start up a business in 6 weeks, and that is what Anna is. She has a startup. She founded a company called StartUp to Life, and later we're going to talk about it. And so maybe before we start, Anna, maybe you can do a short introduction about yourself, and also because there will be audience that is their first time here, seeing you, knowing about you. You can do a short intro about yourself, and at the same time, what were you doing prior to starting a business, starting any of your business before your new startup or before becoming an entrepreneur?
Sure. Well, first of all, Kenneth, thank you so much for having me. I mean, I'm just as blessed as you to be working with someone who's as passionate about, sharing and empowering women and business as I am. So very briefly, I'm Anna. I am an entrepreneur. I'm an innovation facilitator and a business coach. Like you mentioned, I'm a mother of two, and I also have a dog who I shall not neglect. And I'm honestly, I have a beautiful marriage to a Singaporean for almost 15 years now, and I feel it's the biggest piece of my success.
Wow.
And I've been based in Singapore now for almost 14 years. So I'm originally a German who grew up in Belgium, but came here to stay 3 years. And Singapore has been such an exciting and blissful place that, 14 years later, 2 kids later, I'm still here.
Wow. Welcome to Singapore. So Singapore is really, truly your home.
For the past 14 years, for sure. But I mean, I think the world is very global, and I am delighted to be working with people as far as, Switzerland and all the way to Australia and the US. But yes, my home and the home of my children, my very Singlish children, are definitely Singapore.
Yeah. So you, when I get to know you, basically, through this friend, this student of yours, basically, she's a very, I should say, a very good student that graduated from your Startup to Life program. Later we can talk about it. And her name is Caroline, and now she's live with us, and truly blessed because I can say she's one of your very promising student as she started up her business after the program, and her business and her company just attracted me through Facebook. She was doing Facebook ads, and the company is called Parent Support Network, which I'm very intrigued with the idea. I like it. I messaged her and she replied, and we got connected. And basically, is the idea behind Parent Support Network is really good, and it's something that, because I'm a parent. I have an 8-year-old daughter. So when she talked about it, it make total sense. So I met up with her. We talked about it, and she said, "Hey, Kenneth, you need to meet Anna." I was like, "Who's Anna?" So she's a serial entrepreneur. She's a mompreneur too, and that's where we got connected. She invited me to one of your workshop where you talk about productivity, if I'm not wrong, on that day. So I really benefited a lot from it, and at the same time, I got to know you. You're such a dynamic person. You're always smiling, laughing, and really like the energy. And when we got connected, you talk about my book, we share about my book, and you're really passionate, and you see the vision together with me, and you see that how this book can help mothers to perfect the balance between their motherhood and business. Like what you are doing now, you're running 4 businesses, and you are also a mother. You have 2 kids, and also your dog also, which is a family member of yours. And I cannot understand and cannot imagine how you can manage everything. And with that, we wish you can touch on it. And also, maybe you can share with us, prior to you starting your first business, what were you doing back then? Like, were you in corporate or?
Well, there's so much you shared just now, so thank you so much. So first of all, yes, Caroline is excuse my language, but a kick-ass entrepreneur and mompreneur, very inspirational woman, and she's really done this all herself. All that I do is I provide the platform for people to grow, and I give them tools and I connect them, but they do all the work themselves, and she's amazing. And in fact, we just recorded a little video about her journey. As an entrepreneur taking this program, but also as a mother, because that is something that has led her to this. So I might share this afterwards with you. You can share it as well, because it's very inspirational. It's all Caroline. And indeed, I think her business is very promising, and we did meet through that. So I was very impressed. With regards to running multiple businesses and all these things, it always sounds so big and crazy and all that. And yes, my days are very busy, and that's why I think I ran productivity workshops, because I need it so badly. And the person I had invited that day was Kai. He's a little bit of a mentor for me when it comes to productivity and all that. But essentially, honestly, Kenneth, entrepreneurship and the way I run these different businesses, it's the same process. And I look at it as a vehicle by itself. And and I might be the driver at some point, or I might have other drivers and I might be at the back. And so it's always a teamwork. None of the businesses that I run would actually be working out if it wasn't for all these amazing people I have the honor of working with. And to your question, what was I doing before? It's kind of funny because I guess now I'm sort of officially an entrepreneur and a serial entrepreneur. Actually, I started my very first business when I was 20, and I studied, a lot of people don't know, but I studied digital film production, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really weird because what happened was, instead of looking for a job as a film professional, for whatever reason, Kenneth, I don't know, but I started a media production company.
Wow.
Which by the way, didn't make it big or anything.
Also, in fact, you started a business.
I started a business at 20, and this has led me to actually kickstarting my career as an employee in other companies quite quickly. Just because I guess they saw, oh, this is such a young lady and she did her own stuff, even though it didn't, possibly didn't generate a lot of revenue at that time. But it exposed me to a lot of things like marketing and operations and financials and things like that. Well, way in advance of studying business. So I have a media background. I had never studied business. So I was very, very fortunate, to be honest, to have been invited to work with this company called SAE Institute for almost 7 years.
Wow.
It's the world's largest network of international media colleges. And even though I was so young, they invited me in to set up the film school in Brussels and become a marketing manager at a very, very, very young age. And to be honest, even though it's a big company with 50 colleges worldwide, that project by itself was starting something from scratch. Wow. There was literally one open warehouse and a brand and a lot of people who were supportive, but that was it. And they said, do you think you could put this together? We hear you've got a lot of energy, you're very driven. And I took some time to think about it because I was worried, what if I would fail or, but I decided I'll go for it. And to be honest, that has been the beginning of my journey of understanding that that's what I'm good at, is really building things from scratch, initiating and building businesses and making them work no matter in what stage they are. But I didn't realize that. So I was with that company for very long. I essentially came to Singapore and was the general manager here and regional director for that company for quite a long time. And that has helped me to understand a lot about, I did quite a bit of crisis management in the region. So I worked in Bangkok and KL and, helped with the schools in Jakarta, 5 schools in India, but also working with franchise partners, being exposed to all these things at a really, really young age. So I think without that career opportunity, I wouldn't have had such a huge accelerated career, if you want. But then I became an entrepreneur, really, and this is where what you do is so inspiring to me, because what happened was I was always on a plane. And I wasn't a mother yet. My husband and I, we were married 5 years before we had children, but I was always on a plane because I was really doing a lot of crisis management, a lot of things. And I became a mother. In 2008, I became a mother, and if I'm very honest with you, I sort of missed quite significant, important milestones in the first year of my son's life, because I was always on the plane and because I was in such a high position. And I said, no, I'm not putting a child into this planet to miss this. And while I had an amazing helper, and my parents-in-law live here, and they said, oh, he's taking the first steps. It's super nice that you called me, but it just broke my heart that I wasn't there. Yeah. And that's why I quit my job and started my own business. So it is really directly related to being a mother. Yeah. Now, I found out that I'm not a stay-home mom, and I admire stay-home moms. I can't do it. I become absolutely crazy. I'm a much better mother being a working mother. But entrepreneurship has allowed me to decide how much I want to travel and how much I want to work, and be able to scale that up and down. But of course, it also comes with a lot of challenges. You don't have a steady salary coming in every month. You can feel lonely at times. You don't know what the heck you're doing. Now, I'm really lucky because I suppose entrepreneurship and I became very good friends, and I've had a lot of help from people. I'm really driven by giving back to all the help I've received. So I had a lot of mentors along the way, a lot of people who just honestly sent me customers. So one of my mentors was also to a certain extent business partner recently, Hugh Mason from JFDI. He's sent me lots of business over the years, and so it's that's what I was doing prior. Now the interesting thing is, in between, I always had lovely opportunities to work with big companies and even universities, and I was always tempted because they have that steady paycheck and that big role, and people say, Anna, you should do this, this is made for you. It's been a challenge to say no, actually I am an entrepreneur, and people are like, what? Why do you choose uncertainty over that certainty? But it is, at the end of the day, related to my family, to my children, but also to me, because I have a lot of freedom and I learn so much. Being an entrepreneur, you have to listen to the market. You get to be with your customers and build solutions around them. And I feel like I'm paid to have an ongoing MBA every day, like just continuous learning. And so that's sort of what I did before. So I started very early, but strangely, only last year I kind of realized, oh yes, I guess I did start my business. So somehow I guess I am an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It took me a while to sort of officially announce it. I always called myself a businesswoman prior.
Yeah. Sorry. So that is so true, and that's also the reason why I do Mother Industry Live show, where I invite a lot of mompreneurs to share their journey. And in fact, with all your inspiring story, a lot of mothers who are sitting on the fence, they will be able to relate to, because you were like them before. All the mompreneurs were like them before, and it's because of the desire, because you became a mom, and you do not you want to see your kids, their milestone, their first tooth and all that stuff. You want to see that, but because you're so busy working, you're trading time for money, and you're not able to, and that guilt that is in the mother,
Yeah, there's a lot of guilt.
which is kind of like suffocating them, which I see in a lot of my friends. Even like for you, you were I can feel that pain that you are going through, because um at the same time you want to see the milestone, but at the same time you still need to bring bread back, because you have the ability to earn an income, and also your career is promising, is skyrocketing, and it's hard to give up. And I really salute those mompreneurs that took a leap of faith and moved into. It means like for you decided that now you're a mom, you want to see the milestone, and that's where you resign or you quit from your job. But in fact, although one door closes, another door open, which is your entrepreneurship. And you mentioned one thing that I want to share it out with the mothers that are watching this, is entrepreneurship allows you to live life on your own terms. That means you are in control where you fly, how often you're going to fly, when you're going to spend time with your kids, and when you're going to spend time with your family members, and when you're going to do work. So that's the flexibility of that. Definitely, it comes with discipline, and also at the same time, you were saying that because your career was doing so good, and you took a leap of faith and moving into entrepreneurship, not knowing what you're going to do. Am I right to say that? And at the same time, the courage, the leap of faith. Maybe you can share with the audience who are watching, especially the mothers. What was that? Is that aha moment that you decided to, okay, that's it. I'm going to give up my good career, my promising career, and I'm going to be a full-time housewife or full-time mom, stay-at-home mom. So what was that decision, or what was that moment that you decided to do that?
I mean, for me, I first of all, I just want to say that I think I'm a much better mother working, and I explain this to my children as well. And I mean, just to clarify, I still work a lot, and I definitely should work less. I think that's unfortunately part of my DNA. Both my mother and my grandfather are entrepreneurs as well.
Wow.
But at least now I don't have to travel so much, And it's funny because my son sometimes says, "Oh, mommy, you're the boss," and I say, "No, my customers are the boss." I still have a boss. There still is a boss. I'm not that. But yes, you can choose. You can make decisions. You really, I think the biggest thing about it as well is you get to choose who you want to work with. You don't have to work with people that you don't share the same vision. You can do very fulfilling things. But I have to be honest with you. I do mentor and coach a lot of entrepreneurs, and it can be a very difficult journey. I'm not sure it's suited for everyone. because you have to really understand why you're doing it and keep on going. There will be a lot of stones in your way, and you have to make sure you have a support system, and you just have to keep believing and going. And of course, to be honest, some people have financial situations. I'm very, very lucky to work with single mothers. I'm very impressed. My own mom was a single mother, bringing me up and working as well. But for them, it's not so simple, right? Because I mean, I'm lucky I have a husband and we bring in earnings together. But if there's a financial need as well, entrepreneurship is definitely a lot riskier. And that's what my mission is at the moment. Is I've been so blessed that I've been exposed to things to make entrepreneurship a bit less risky. And that's essentially what I'm helping people with now as well, is to not put immediately all your money or all your time into it, but to test it along the way, and then to build a business around customers. But with regards to the aha moment, I didn't really have an aha moment per se. I am a very hands-on mother. I mean, I'm very lucky that I live in Southeast Asia, where we are blessed to have helpers who are additions to the family, kind of like nannies. I'm very blessed. But being European culturally, I'm a very hands-on mother, and missing just a few months of my son's life was just not okay for me. The guilt ate me up. You mentioned it. And to be very honest, I even had a burnout because I never really took a maternity leave as well the first time I gave birth. And that was because I was running that business, and that was quite scary. I did almost work a bit too much. But what happened was I sort of made that decision that I wanted to do something else that would allow me not to travel so much, and that would allow me to be able to work with my kids or spend more time with my kids. And then what happened, like you mentioned just now, I love that so much. You close one door, but another door opens. What happened is that people heard that I was going to leave. And then they came and they said, oh, you've done this for the past 7 years with this company. Could you help us? Could you do this? Can we work together? And suddenly I had basically 5 customers. And I didn't think about starting a specific business. I just had 5 customers. And I was like, okay, I'll just start a business to service these guys and see what happens after then. And that's, then one thing led to the other, as they say. That's so it's sort of, it came to me. But yes, sometimes I think it is about taking that leap of faith. But at the same time, don't think it's going to be an easy journey. I just like to highlight that as well, because it can be really, really challenging. It can be linked to a lot of anxieties. It can be linked to a lot of stress. So you have to measure that out, which of the two gives you more or less stress. But at the same time, if my daughter is sick now, I say, and I can arrange it, of course, I have to check with my customers who are my bosses, but I'll work from home, or next week I'll be in Europe, I'm taking a holiday, and I'll take my computer with me, but it's me, and I'm so lucky because I have a team, and the team will continue to work, and when they're on holiday, I will cover them. So there's a lot that comes with it, but it is linked to having a very strong belief that things will be okay, and a strong support system. I have to say, if your family or your friends are not on your side, I'm so lucky. My husband has been totally by my side the whole time, and my family. But if you don't have that, it adds another layer of difficulty. So a support system is very, very important. And I include my kids in that support system. So I include my kids. I tell them about what I do, and they're like my biggest supporters now. So I ask them for business advice now as well. It's very amusing.
Yeah, they are like your number one fans, and they're always curious. Hey, mommy, what you're doing, right? Yeah, what business are you going to start up next, right?
And they have great ideas.
Yes, definitely, because they are just very innocent. They are just very direct. And in fact, like for my case, sometimes I had a lot of inspiration, a lot of creative ideas from my daughter, because when I do any creative stuff, it's always good to go to mingle with kids. They always give you the most direct approach of it, because for us adults, we tend to complicate things. And just now, I have to agree with you that a lot of people think that entrepreneurship is something like, oh, it's like you're a superstar, you're going to, it's a very prestigious career or position or whatever stuff, but it's not. In fact, we have to do a lot of things, but like you mentioned, entrepreneurship is not for everyone, but definitely there's certain things that we can learn to become an entrepreneur or to build towards that. And for you, I can say that because of your corporate, of your opportunity that you learn in the corporate world, that builds up to like it's like a foundation, because you learn a lot of things, and because you were young, you keep learning things, absorbing things, and now when you're entrepreneur, basically you can relate a lot of things. And also because of how successful you were in your corporate job, you're able to, although you left the corporate world, but when you step in entrepreneurship, because whatever good that you have done back then, your work, everything just contribute to your entrepreneurship. Like you didn't realize that suddenly you have like 5 6 customer on hand, where you just want to be a at home mom, and business just kickstart. Am I right to say that?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, definitely, I think that the work I've done with corporates has helped me and given me a lot of confidence and exposed me to understanding what a P&L is, or things like that. Because don't forget, I have a media background.
Yes.
But I have to also mention that, to be honest, the skill set required for working, and I work with large corporations now as well. One of my businesses, I do innovation and corporate training with large corporations, but the skill sets needed there are quite different from a startup, from a small business, from entrepreneurship, to be honest, because when you're in a large corporation, things take time. They're very slowly. So you have to be patient. There's a lot of people and there's a lot of politics. So you have to be able to really be good at relationship building. And the mechanisms are quite different. And there's that stability. So you can take more time. In entrepreneurship, things have to go really, really fast, and you constantly have to listen to the market, because you don't have that luxury of, you don't have that big amount of money that's there in case something fails, right?
And also the team that is behind the big corporation.
Yes, exactly. You don't have the same resources. Exactly. So you have to do a lot more. You really do everything. And but I love that because it keeps me on my toes. So personally, I think if you were to ask me, what has actually what has been the main attribute to sort of my success, I would say my curiosity. And I always remind my children that they should remind me to think like them, because what you mentioned just now, that curiosity, that innocence that children have, that is really what keeps you going and growing. And we live in a very uncertain world, but it's also filled with opportunity, because the more uncertain it is, the more opportunities there are. And the big companies are now threatened by small little entrepreneurs like us, because we are much quicker, much more nimble, and we can provide solutions in a much quicker way. So being open, listening, learning, and understanding that you never know it all. You never reach that.
Correct.
That's why I'm so honored to work with so many people, because I learn every day.
Constantly learning.
Paid for it. It's even more amazing.
Yes, that's amazing. And you have mentioned that like big corporation, NMC, they work differently, which also give us a very good insight. And I have this really big question, because when I got to know you, I was like, okay, Anna, you run 4 businesses, while a lot of people out there, even they are stuck in one business. It's hard for them to build another business. So what is maybe the secret or the formula, or you have any tips for those who want to be like you to start into other business? Because there are entrepreneurs that I know, or mompreneurs that I work with. The most they start with two companies, because you yourself, you are a mom. You have your family to take care, your kids to take care, your husband to take care, your in-laws to take care. At the same time, you have to take care of 4 businesses, which is also like another 4 children, I should say. So how do you manage to manage that 4 businesses, or you found 4 businesses despite how busy you are? Because a lot of mothers will be out there say, just being in a corporate job, they say that I really have no time. I have no money, I have no this, no that. So what was your maybe the secret, or maybe any tips, or maybe some enlightenment you can give it to us, that how do you manage to manage 4 businesses at one time, despite you being a mom?
For sure. I'm happy to give you all my secrets. And I share them all in my 6 weeks to Startup online course as well. Basically, Kenneth, it's keeping it lean. So I follow a methodology that's called the Lean Startup methodology. It's also a methodology I teach at university as well as in my programs. And it allows you to not put in too much money immediately, but to create like what they call a minimal viable product. So just a very basic website and offering and register the simplest legal entity at first, until you have traction, until you get customers, and then to build up, as opposed to, and I do have an MBA and I'm grateful for that experience, but sometimes I feel like throwing it in the trash as well, because what the MBA taught me was to put in a lot of money, a lot of planning, and then find out whether it's going to work or not. So keeping it lean. And the second and the biggest secret that I have, Kenneth, is I outsource. I work with people. I have a full-time virtual assistant. I have a huge team out of the Philippines. I'm so blessed. I would be nothing without them. But it took me a while to learn to let go. And I work with a lot of entrepreneurs around that. It's kind of interesting because learning to let go, having that trust is quite difficult for a lot of people. Yeah. But that is the key. That is the key. I'm not the one. If you look at the Startup to Life and, all the tweets or all the things, it's not me doing it. I've got an amazing team behind me. The design of the website, all these things, I've got people, and the key is really outsourcing and collaborating and working with people. So in terms of legal or operations, the financial, the legal, I do a lot of consolidating. So I do run separate P&Ls, but I use the same systems. I use the same accounting system. I use the same corporate secretary. And so it only becomes like looking at a different Excel tab. You know what I mean? But the process is the same. And but the customers are different. The brands are different. And so it is doable. It really is doable. But I think the key is really having a team. And that sounds expensive at first, but there's so many inexpensive things you can do. There are virtual assistants in the world. There are interns. There are volunteers. You could do partnerships with people who are like you and I. We're looking at doing the same thing. We can partner and we can help each other. So not doing it alone. That's the secret.
Correct. So in fact, why I want you to bring it up, because a lot of people will have a lot of myth that starting one business is really troublesome, it's really so hard. How is it possible to do 4? And you just shared something which is about your lean startup methodology, which is very, very useful for a lot of mothers, because first thing they will tell us that they do not have time. But with the lean startup, you are just testing. You are doing a beta testing and to see whether there's any demand in the market for that specific product that you are pushing out, and from there you once you get traction, and then you can start building and looking at it seriously. And second tips is the outsourcing part. That is what I see in a lot of mompreneurs that I work with. That why they are stuck with one business is not because they can't. It's because they can't let it go. They don't trust people. They throw trust when they outsource. They want a lot of control, a lot of ownership in the business. And like marketing, they are not willing to outsource marketing to someone who's better in marketing. And they themselves, they're struggling with marketing and telling me that, Kenneth, my Facebook ad doesn't work. But it couldn't be, because it works for other people, and why it does not work for you is because you are not proficient enough in Facebook ads or digital marketing. You're just juggling a lot of things, that you're a jack of all trades but master of none. So that's where the outsourcing part is very important, especially for SME to move up to huge corporation. The outsourcing comes very important. And this is something I believe, I don't know whether it's Asian culture that we tend to hold a lot of things on hand, ownership, or is it just basically
it's a global problem?
Okay, hearing from you is good, because we always think that Asian tends to hold a lot of things. In fact, it's not true, right? Like anybody, as long as it's human, it's a human thing to.
I mean, like you said, Kenneth, you said earlier that having 4 businesses is like having 4 extra children, and it really is. In fact, one of the businesses, I actually conceptualized it while I was in hospital giving birth to my second child. So I think you can't blame mothers, you can't blame entrepreneurs for not wanting to let go. I'll be very honest with you. I had that problem. I really struggled. I don't think I had a problem trusting people, but to be very honest, I think I was kind of like a very hands-on person. And so I might as well do it myself. And I know exactly how I wanted. It took me a while to understand that I'm not going to get anywhere that way, actually. And I need to, and once you let go, right? And I've let go a couple of years ago. Oh my God, the results were amazing. And
Yes.
there are people who, you are good at certain things, like you
Yes.
said, and there are things you're not good at, and that's normal. You can't be good at everything. So you need to understand where are your strengths, and focus on that. And also what is core and not core to your business. So of course you wouldn't want to outsource something that's core, because you don't want to be too dependent on something that's so critical for your business. But if it's non-core, like for example, scheduling my appointments, writing a media brief for today, tweeting about marketing, or these are not core things. But having this interview with you, or coaching, or running the programs, that's core. Then I need to do that myself. And that's what I enjoy, right? That's what I love. And that's what's so amazing about entrepreneurship as well, is that you get to choose what you do and what you don't do.
Correct. And you touch on a very strong point, which is what makes an entrepreneur keep on going is doing what they love. And if let's say you're managing things that you don't like, example, like for me, I don't like accounting, I don't like all the figure stuff, I like creative stuff. So if I focus on all the admin stuff, the accounting, the money, and basically it just got me distracted, and I felt that I'm not really good at it, but I still need to do it, and kind of like diminish the fire in the entrepreneur. It's very hard for us to pursue in the business. And what you mentioned is correctly to focus on our strength and magnify it as much as possible, and leave the non-core activities to outsource by just outsourcing, and which is very, very crucial. And for those who are watching, who are entrepreneurs, who are business people, this is a very, very important tip that Anna have just shared. I really want to put it out to everyone. And also, I have another question. Is basically you already answered on how you basically manage 4 businesses at one time through the system, through outsourcing, and through the lean startup methodology. And this is, I think even for me, I always have this question: is entrepreneurship learnable, and can it be trained, or you take certain personality or traits of a person to be able to become entrepreneur? So I guess, like for you, you're serial entrepreneur. I guess you'll be in a very good position to share with us. Yeah, is it learnable skill?
Oh, that's such a great question, Kenneth. And I've had like hundreds of conversations with people about this. And I ask people all the time as well, because nobody really knows. But what I can tell you is that I've looked at a lot of research. I'm actually really, really honored and blessed that I'm currently going through a certification for a tool that has been developed in Australia and based on 20 years of studies looking at early stage entrepreneurs, benchmarked really successful entrepreneurs, and also failed bankrupts.
Wow.
So they've done a lot of research, and they looked at, were there any particular motivations and attitudes that are identifiable from there? And we found, or this research has found, yes, there are. So I don't know. Some people say there's a bit of DNA in it. There's some people, but I feel that it can be learned. If I don't believe that this could be learned, then I wouldn't be teaching it, to be honest. And I wouldn't attend continuously courses from other people. So I definitely think it can be learned. But what I do think is that there are different appetites for risk. That's something I've seen. So I think if you've got a very low appetite for risk, and generally a very risk adverse, you may not tend to be so comfortable with an entrepreneur
journey.
Or just the environment, just because the risk is high. So I think there have been studies that showed that people who generally take higher risks,
adventurous.
They're more investors. They're willing to take the gamble. But what's really interesting as well with regards to this tool that I also integrate into my mentorship programs now, the one I mentioned just now, is that they show that people who are very high initiative and really are driven by a why, a purpose, they tend to do quite well in the very early stages of entrepreneurship. But can it be learned? For sure. I fundamentally believe that. But I also think that your appetite for risk, and also your ability to digest and deal with anxieties. And I'll be honest with you, I get stressed easily as well. I do Muay Thai just to manage my stress. I know
Wow.
it's ridiculous.
Okay. Next time I shall not provoke you.
Some people told me to do yoga. I said I can't do yoga. I'm too
You need more
energetic
active.
to do
Yeah.
it. I'm like,
You
but
need to vent out.
it
Yeah.
causes anxieties. I have to be honest with you, and
Yeah.
I suffer from this as well.
Oh.
But I have chosen this path of entrepreneurship, so it comes with it. So I try to manage that.
Yes.
But I have seen people who are just eaten up by that as well.
Yes.
I think it's a number of things. It's your risk for appetite. It's knowing why you do this. If your main driver is money, if your main driver is to get rich, personally, I think if you do get somewhere, it's pure luck. Because I don't think that will actually keep you driven for the long term. I think it's the wrong thing. I actually refuse to work with people. Not refuse, but I said somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because I think that you need to have something else that really, really gets you up in the morning when shit hits the fan, and shit will hit the fan.
Yes, definitely.
It's guaranteed, you know.
Correct. Because even if you are not entrepreneur in a job in the corporate world, it's the same. We have to face whatever you have mentioned. Just that, what is the lifestyle that we want, and what is the reason that we really go into entrepreneurship or even to start a business. Like for you, unknowingly you thought you were just a businesswoman. In the end, you become entrepreneur and serial entrepreneur. And for me, I also happened to start my business accidentally, and a lot of things happen. And I can agree with you that people who start the businesses, they tend to have be more adventurous. They can take risks. They are constantly learning. They are people who learn and curious about a lot of stuff.
Curious people.
And that is one thing that I also want to push out to people, because a lot of people say, I cannot do business, it cannot be learned, and you just qualify that, and you just address that. And also at the same time, just like you were mentioning about that all these things can be learned through the program, that you have this company business called Startup to Life, where Caroline is one of your graduates. And maybe you can share with us, because our topic today is how to start up a business in 6 weeks, and in that program you basically help them to start up a business in 6 weeks. Maybe you can talk more about that and how they can maybe get access to that.
Sure. And I mean, just to reiterate, right? Everyone can start a business. Really, I guarantee you, we're not special. Anyone can do this if you really want to do it. But you have to make it a priority. So it's a bit like if you want to, I don't know, lose weight or just change your life or anything that you want to achieve, you have to make it a priority, and you will get there. And then what you need to do is just surround yourself with the right people to support you. So to have a support system, a mentorship, and the right tools, and of course knowing why you're doing it. So just to reiterate that you do not have to worry that only certain kind of people can be entrepreneurs. Really, everyone can be that. And I find it's personally so inspiring and democratic as well, because anyone can do it, right? So yes, the programs that we offer at startuptolife.com, it's a global platform for really anyone who wants to monetize an idea, who wants to build a business, already existing small business owners who are looking to scale. We have freelancers, we have bloggers, we have also people who haven't worked in a while. And interestingly, at the moment, we have a lot of corporate people quitting their jobs, coming over and sort of walking over to the other side, or planning their exit strategy from there. So one of the programs we offer, it's called 6 Weeks to Startup. And essentially, it's a boot camp, a 6-week boot camp, all online, where we actually teach you or guide you through the lean startup methodology. So through the process of how you actually market validate your ideas, so that you don't spend too much money in them and realize no, you don't have customers. And then we actually build your website and your minimal viable product, your first product or your first service in the course. So after the 6 weeks, you walk out of there with a business ready for transactions to be basically to be able to accept revenue already. And we have people earning coin, right, in these 6 weeks. Now, 6 weeks sounds short, and it is, and it's just the catapult of your journey.
Yes.
It's a bit like a boot camp when you want to change your life, but you get access to the materials a lifelong, so that's quite amazing.
Yes.
And it's coupled, I wouldn't underestimate that it's coupled to a private community of peers and
support team.
A support team. And also, I'm very, very blessed to have a whole team of guest coaches on the team. So it's not just me. I see myself more like a curator and someone who brings it all together. Of course, I deliver the programs online.
Yeah.
And I have a legal coach who's coming in. I have a digital marketing expert. I have a full-time tech coach. People who are there. So, people say, "Oh, I want to build a website, but I'm not a techie." We've got you covered. We will do this. So the amazing thing is technology is my biggest friend. And after these 6 weeks, technology will be your biggest friend.
Yes.
And outsourcing, virtual assistants is all part of the curriculum as well. So it's totally doable. And Caroline is just such an inspiration because she came to the program. She's a mother of 2 and hadn't been working for a while. Does have a professional background, but she was just really driven by her personal motivation to find a solution of how to take care of her kids after work.
Yes.
And she completely trusted in the process and the curriculum of the program that we threw at her. Did this with amazing energy and amazing openness and curiosity. In the second module, for example, we teach people how to do a customer insight survey in order to be able to understand what customers actually really want so that you can build the products and services around that. And she, within a week, I mean, if she's online, she should correct me how many there were. But I think within a week, she had like 50 replies to her survey, only just purely using her social media, which we recommend you do initially. And she was like, wow, look at this. I've got people who say this is a good, worth pursuing. And of course, she's still in the journey. I mean, it's an ongoing process and she's building and building. But she came out of the 6 weeks. We had a graduation party at the Co. And she came there with her name card, with her logo, with her title. And she said, hi, I'm a business owner after these 6 weeks. And I mean, it's such an inspiration. And this is truly why I love doing what I do, because these people, they give me so much energy and so much love as well.
It is very fulfilling also to see a student really take massive action and really start up the business and get the business going and really growing after that, because that is what like you were saying, that the course is totally online, which is also very suitable for stay-at-home moms. Or for working moms who maybe they can access to the computer at home after work, and they'll be able to learn it, or even to go through that the 6 weeks purely online, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all in videos that are pre-recorded. They're all no longer than 5 minutes each. So you can watch them, if you're a busy person, you can watch them in your lunch break or on the bus or whenever. If you are a stay-home mom, when you're cooking dinner or when you have a me time. And also, to be honest, we have a lot of people who haven't been working for a while. They're looking to reinvent themselves. I have a lot of people who are just sick and tired of the politics of the big corporations. They're looking for a more meaningful life, a more purposeful professional life. All these people come together and they're all filled with love for each other. And this private Facebook community, it's a closed door private Facebook community. They share and also we have strategic partners that we bring in who can help build your, like, we teach you how to build your business and also how to build your website. But thereafter, if you want to scale it and outsource it, because we want to help people outsource, we bring in strategic partners from the Philippines or really affordable places, but amazing companies who can actually do this for you. So you get a whole circle of trusted referrals as well, and ways and technology tools to really scale up from there. So yes, all kinds of people, men and women, all different ages. And what's so cool as well is that they're from all over the world. And the process is applicable to no matter where you are. I find that so interesting.
Yeah, and especially with internet nowadays, a lot of things can be learned, can be done, and even to build a business with a website, you basically can do a lot of things. And I really
Yeah.
really want to hear more from you, but definitely I know that Anna, you have your time is really tight. You have upcoming a lot of appointments and stuff to go on, and maybe we can invite you again to share even deeper, because today is just to know about you, more about your journey, and also that I'm always curious that how can you start a business in 6 weeks, and you literally have shared it. And I would not want to leak out too much for those who are watching. How do they get connected with you, and also at the same time how can they have more information on this program, and when is the next class? Maybe you can just share with them, and maybe I can post it on the post later.
Yeah, I will. I can share a link with you, Kenneth. You can
Yeah,
share that with your
definitely.
community. We have ongoing programs, so there's always something happening. We have in-person workshops
Mm.
and online workshops. And thank you so much for having me. I really believe in what you're doing as well. I think it's really phenomenal that you're. Yeah, I think being a mother
Mm.
and working is quite tough. It's a challenge
Yes.
day by day. Nobody has the solutions, but if we come together and talk openly about it and support each other, then
Yeah.
that's time really meaningful spent.
All
So
right.
I'm really honored, and thank you for inviting me. It's a delight to be introduced to your community, and so awaiting to read your book as well.
Yes, yes, and in fact, now my book is for pre-ordering. Yeah, so this is the cover of my book. I don't know whether you can see that.
Yay!
Yeah, so that in fact I've just uh, approved, have my final manuscript approved, and it's going
Mm-hmm.
for layout. I'm really excited that it's going to be out soon,
Wow.
and now it's open for pre-ordering until about 31st of uh, August. So for I'll
Mm.
also post a link below, and for those who really want to, and for those who pre-order, you get access to this mompreneur movement, which is basically a Facebook group, a private Facebook group where all the mompreneurs of those who are supporting this movement of mompreneurship. So you can come in and you get access to that, and a lot will be included in the link that will be posted in. And last but not least, before we end the show, as I mentioned to you, Anna, we have the question of the day, and for you, you are today's guest, and you get to post the question of the day out to the audience, and also this question get to be posted to the next guest. So, are you ready for your question?
Sure, sure. I guess my question would be, what is your secret for work-life balance? So it's sort of
Wow.
similar to the one that I've received, but I think it's an ongoing question.
Hmm.
What is your secret to maintaining the work-life balance?
So, what is your secret to um, in maintaining
Mm-hmm. Your work-life balance.
your work-life balance? Wow.
I want to know that
Hmm.
secret.
That's good. That's good. So, for those who are watching live now, and those who are watching replay, do post your answer below to this question from Anna, which is, what is your secret in maintaining your work-life balance? Am I right? Am I right, Anna?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Oh, is
post
that
your
for the audience or is that for the next person?
for the audience and also for the next guest.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, so the next guest will be caught unaware of this question. So last but not least, any last advice for those mummies or for audiences who are standing on the fence into entrepreneurship? They want to, but they are not. What is your last advice for them?
If you want to do it, just do it. No, I think be kind to yourself. My advice to people is be kind to yourself. Give yourself love and take the time you need and believe in yourself. The biggest obstacle is usually ourselves.
Yes,
Mm.
yes, that's really a very good advice, and advice that we can take with us. And I'm really thankful, Anna, for coming on for my live show, and
Mm.
thanks for making time. I really would love to have you on my show again. So maybe we can work out something at your available time, and maybe the next time that you come on live, maybe you can share even more value, because whatever you share today is a lot, and I do not want to take too much of your time. I really want to put it for the next show so that people will benefit a lot more in more episodes. So thank you
Mm,
for coming on live today, and also um, for your upcoming trip. Really happy for it. You
thank you.
get a holiday and get to take a break, and maybe we can catch up after when you're back from your holiday. And last but not least, Kenneth here signing off with together with Anna. Thank you for watching Mother Industrialist live show, and we see you in the next episode.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much,
thanks Anna. See
everybody.
you. Take
Bye,
care.
business builders.
Bye. Okay.